Good morning to you all, and welcome to the second day of ACA's What's New in Brussels, Recent Developments in European Policies and Programs seminar. It's a lovely day here in Brussels with a lot of sun, which is a perfect start for a Friday morning and a perfect way for us to continue with our second day's program. We've had a pretty packed afternoon yesterday already, as many of you know, that managed to stay until the end. And although this particularly new Erasmus Plus program generation has been presented even from the planning stage as an evolution rather than as a revolution, we've already gotten to hear some of the important updates, both on the policy front as well as related to the program's development. Specifically, we've heard a number of important updates at policy level related to the upcoming transformation agenda in higher education. We've also gotten to hear from the European Parliament representative about the Parliament's expectations on the role of higher education in the European education area transformations. We've heard also from a number of national agencies representatives on the role of agencies in supporting transformation through internationalization, as well as importantly started to look more closely at the next Erasmus Plus program, at its main architecture and main novelties, particularly in key action 1, through a number of sessions we've had in yesterday's programs, innovations related, for example, to this possibility of using 20% of the normal mobility under heading 2, the previous key action 103 of the program, for mobility to partner countries, further on to the new blended mobility modes that will be facilitated, financially supported by the program, to the return of intensive programs, also in blended format for both students and staff, as well as to the novelties related to more flexibility on the mobility of doctoral candidates. Through a final panel in yesterday's program, we've also managed to take important stock of where we are right now with mobility developments, both for credit and degree mobility, as this remains challenging period in most European countries and around the world because of the COVID-19 pandemic, which brought many challenges, of course, but also a number of opportunities that were presented to us also yesterday. In today's program, we continue to dive deeper into the program architecture, and we do that with the first session this morning, where we focus on 2 activities, the new key actions 2 and 3, and we do that in a session that will be moderated by my colleague Martin Bogdan from the ACA Secretariat. Martin works with us here as a project officer, and there can be many interesting things said about his background. I'd like to highlight one that relates to his current activities, and that is coordinating our participation in a broad project on internationalization of higher education for society, IHES in short. Martin is coordinating at the moment a big European level survey trying to identify interesting innovative practices on linking internationalization and community engagement. So if you can highlight to us some interesting practices you might have in the higher education institutions that you're working for, please do get in touch with Martin and let him know. So with that, I'd really like to hand over the virtual floor to Martin for the moderation of the key action 2 and 3 session.